out what they're going to use, which tools, because CLG just released a bunch of vlogs from every single person on their team saying that they have new champions, they have a new face that they're going to show, and people won't be expecting it.
Well, right now we do have some expected bans at the very least. Vayne dropped out from Doublelift, Jarvan away from Chowster. On the other side, CLG dropping Zach, Rumble, and Hecarim away.
So there's going to be no Nidalee ban versus CLG, which in the past, has been a really big thing because they have two Nidalee players, Link and Hotshot. Even though Hotshot hasn't been playing as much Nidalee, he's been playing more tank focus up in that top lane.
Okay, well, we'll see. They've actually grabbed Shen, though, right off the bat. So speaking of tanks, Hotshot's already picked up one.
Oh, they're hovering over the Rammus, too. Definitely had a lot of fun with that one with Crumbs. The accelerated Rammus from Jace on his team. We're just making really exciting ganks, and I always like to see that one. It looks like he is even going to lock it in.
Wow, that is fun. Like, we haven't seen Rammus in, we see it like once in a while from Cyanide over on Fnatic, and like that's about it. And like the occasional Korean team, and suddenly Rammus is like, okay, picked, banned, picked, like in a row, and he's suddenly like, he's hot stuff.
I feel like we do have these fads in the LCS where 1 week it's Xerath week, everybody's using Xerath now, and then never mind, he's gone now. That was so last week, Freak. And now we've got Rammus. Rammus is in right now. Rammus
the
is
Sunday champion.
Yeah, there we go.
Sona, however, she's remained around for a while. Sona is going to be the support. No, just kidding. Psych! Zed grabbed up for mid lane.
Ooh, a little bit too quick with that one. Zed, extremely popular. We saw Big Fat LP use him very effectively to get them into this spot. They just kind of rolled over that double F team that everyone was talking about having some extra oomph that they never really came with.
So yeah, Azure Cats did 2-0 the first time around. We'll see if they can get the 3-0 here. I did talk to Obituarist real quick, and he said, though I think everyone says it, he says, oh yeah, 3-0, no problem.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll get it.
Yeah, a lot of people I'm talking to are like, yeah, it's gonna be 3-0, and I'm like, oh, who's gonna win? And they're like, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, yeah, either way, it's gonna go 3-0, but it'll be one team winning. I'm just not sure which. That's like, if these teams are that close, it'll probably be going to 5. As I saw yesterday, we had probably the closest ones, best of 5 that we've ever seen here, with that single man taking out the Nexus in the end. Very exciting.
And only so many health left on him. So another couple of picks have been grabbed here for Chronological Game. You've got the Ezreal picked up, I'm assuming for double. We've seen it in the jungle, to be fair, and a Nidalee grabbed.
Yes. So that Nidalee, like we said in the beginning, actually 2 players have played her. Hotshot has a history of him playing her. He hasn't played her recently, except the last few days in solo queue. Actually, both of us have seen him play it, and so that might actually be going up into his hands, and they could use that Shen first pick as sort of a mind game and try and trick them, send Shen into the jungle, and actually have Hotshot on his solo Nidalee.
We'll see. At the very least, they do have options here. Could always still run it on Link. Azure Cats with 13 seconds left to make their choices. Unlike last game, everyone hovered over Nunu just to troll everybody. This time around, they're much more straight-faced.
That's a Dignitas special there. I talked about on the first day the new picture of Nunu's face. I'm a Cutie Pie is a really big fan because there's just something just diabolical in that little child's face that you can tell he's thinking something sneaky. Ooh, so the Verisona combo is one of the most CC heavy AD and support combos that you can have in this entire game. So that adds a lot of utility to the Azure Cats team when you go with a mid laner like Zed, who's all damage.
Yeah, you mentioned that, where you really need that crowd control to back your team up. So you've seen the 4 champions so far for Azure Cats. They still need, I'm guessing, a top laner. I suppose Cruiser could play Zed anyway. And CLG, we're going to actually see right here what they are going to go for. Is it going to be a hot shot on Nidalee, kind of beckoning back to Season 1 times when they were really the dominant American force?
So, and we also saw, an Ezreal poke comp yesterday too. We already have Nidalee. If you save your last 2 picks to lock in a poke comp, then that's usually the way you would want to go about it. We're just going to get that Orianna, which is classic Link. So we are going to see the return of the hotshot Nidalee GG. I'm sure the old school CLG fans are just having a field day today. Big Fat LP is back. The rest of CLG are playing their old champions. This is going to be very exciting. That means it's going to be Chowster taking that Shen to the jungle.
So full on old school style here. And the last pick to be coming up here, Looks like it might just be Elise for the top lane, and it is locked in. Elise top.
We saw Chris definitely making a really impressive play with Elise in his games, churning that triple kill, the gank around bottom. So there's so many moves you can pull with Elise. And we'll have to see if Cruiser has mastered her to the same degree that Chris has, though.
We'll see if those crafty champions can make any moves here. So, Kobe, we see the lineups on your screen. I don't think there's any swaps left for these guys here. So, break me down each of these teams' lineups.
We do have the return to Hotshot on that Nidalee, and Hotshot has, in the past, always played that Nidalee as a split pusher. So when you add that to a Shen on your team, there is a ton of global pressure here for the CLG team. They can split push with several different characters in any lane, and the Azure Cats are really going to have to be able to control creep waves very well in this game to win. So I think that's going to be their main focus. It's not really going to be about going for the early kills. It's all gonna be about minion wave control during this game.
Okay, so if they get into a 5-on-4 where Hotshot is split pushing, he doesn't have teleport here, he's got Ignite, so he can't get back to his team easily. Can they just dive in with Rammus Zed and just force 5-on-4 super hard?
It's one of the best parts of Rammus is that he can, sneak up and he'll power ball out of a bush or something, and he's a great engage from a very long distance. So it's a good answer to catching someone if you do choose to have Hotshot as your split pusher instead of your Shen. Maybe while Stand United is down, but it's gonna really be about the overall map control. I mean, the 3 lanes, you're gonna have to keep constantly aware of where the minion waves are.
All right, guys, we're gonna get into the game here. This best of 5 determines which of these 2 teams moves into the LCS Summer Split and a chance at the World Playoffs. Counter Logic Gaming in the blue trunks, Azure Cats ironically in red, and we're gonna get ourselves out of the base. BO5 win 3 games into the LCS.
We have pretty much normal starts coming out. They're spread both pings for each team, actually coming on different sides, but both of them are coming out very defensively.
Okay, so we see them just milling about. Early wards, actually none so far. The ball has come out from Link, but otherwise no one has actually done anything but be a human ward so far. There's the first one down. Big Fat's been spotted.
Oh no! The ninja has been seen. His cover's blown. That's a huge detriment when you are on that Zed. Ninja's always trying to stay in the shadows.
Always. But meanwhile, actually, Counter Logic Gaming and Azure Cats both are actually looking at very default lane lineups here. Mid laners in mid, junglers in the jungle, top laners in top, and the AD carry support both bottom.
Cruiser very happy to take Hotshot in a heads-up match here. They actually don't switch out their AD and support, so it looks like there won't be an answer for the double buff advantage of Ezreal and Jenna. They're just going to try and take Wolves to, sort of compensate for that. It's a little bit less experience, but it's not quite that much.
Okay, so we're going to see how much the jungle can be taken by both sides. The AD carrying support, as you mentioned, for both sides are squaring off and taking a small camp for themselves. Cruiser and Dragon are actually going to start at double golems. Big Fat LP is just watching for an invade as a human ward.
They actually didn't have to spend much money on level 1 wards here. Azure Cats being a little bit stingy. They only have the 1 to protect themselves from a late blue invade.
Wow, so a little bit of money saved. We'll see if that ends up panning out to anything special. Double Lift was given actually full experience on the big golem down at the bottom, so he'll be hitting 2 very fast. Chowster gets a bit of help from Hotshot, and he's going to be taking out the blue buff himself, and he has saved a smite.
Demon Will on the other side actually got the full experience from the Wolves, so they're pretty much even here. We might not see, that arcane shift as soon as you hit level 2 on Ezreal, leveling that up as fast as possible and just forcing the all-in. He's got a few seconds right now where he's got the level advantage, but there goes the next creep, and everybody's even.
So we watch this mid lane here, Link up against Big Fat LP. Link actually does have some flat armor. How's this matchup going to go 1v1?
Probably going to be looking for an arm guard fairly early because you are going up against one of the most dangerous AD assassins in Zed. And the early armor will really help out with that laning phase.
Oh, but Chowster is actually waiting to slink around behind Dragoner. Will his team show up? Looks like not, but he's actually going to wait in the brush and maybe try to find some harassment. Of course, he has a ward. He finds Rammus actually, who pulls it towards the brush, and now Chowster wants to pull into the darkness. It's going to be a smite war. Big Fat LP does show up. Chowster might be overstaying.
Oh!
He smites way early. Dragoner takes that one up, and Big Fat LP is nearby. And nothing is picked up here for CLG, just a lost smite.
Extremely early with that smite. The tooltip actually says the damage that your smite does all you have to do is read that tooltip, and it's true damage, so it's not going to be reduced.
It is not false damage, so double lift and no. Double lift and after move down at the bottom lane. There is actually a ward in that lower brush that can spot them if they try to brush juke. Otherwise, Afro is just shielding the poke here from Obituarist.
And now they're going to have to worry more about the jungler from Azure Cats down in that bottom lane, because like Double Lift always said, the reason that they lose most games is when he gets camped, and they keep him down early. With Chauster making that gamut to go for a smite steal on the blue and not getting it means that the Rammus here is going to have a lead, and he'll be coming in. He can even do lane ganks very effectively this early in the game with that power ball.
I just want to point out, you mentioned how far ahead Rammus is, 19-7 as far as minion kills are concerned. That is definitely a very big difference. Meanwhile, we look at the mid lane, and that one actually still is very close, and so far the builds haven't differentiated just yet.
Yeah, and you don't really catch up very quickly with Shen either. He has gotten the early Madreds, but he's not the quickest of junglers. And Dragunner is going to be looking for the first gank as he comes out with double buffs. Like we said, you know, Powerball, you can use that to either get to your jungle camps faster, or you can come straight through a lane for a lane gank.
Okay, so far these lanes have been staying fairly equal, fairly close. Double Lift has some minions still to farm out, should be tying up pretty well as they get pushed down towards the turret. So let's take a look then at the top lane. We haven't seen that yet so far. It's the return of Hotshot on Nidalee. He's actually getting pushed very, very hard right now by Cruiser and does have a minion deficit.
Yeah, Cruiser's doing a really good job. This is why really they wanted the heads up. Nidalee, at the early stages of the game, it's a little bit tough for her to go up against Elise because he does have to worry about that constant burst that's going to come down. And Hotshot here is actually running the extra 5 AP from some runes, so he's going to be going with at least semi-AP Nidalee, and he won't be extremely tanky.
I actually looked up the build, so he has both 8% armor and magic pen. I assume a hybrid pen marks and 21 offense, actually. 21 or maybe even 30. So the AP is actually coming from AP per level. He's got a bunch of magic and armor pen, and he's going for a sort of damagey build.
Yeah, so it will be, you know, that a bruiser hybrid Nidalee coming into the end game. He's behind by a little bit, but it's not the biggest deficit. The problem that could really make this a lot bigger is, you know, the Rammus coming in for a lane game.
Yeah, that'll be a little bit scary. So Hotshot does have 2 traps down in the brush right here that could spot Rammus coming through. It's going to be interesting to watch. We'll see if he makes a move right now. The minion wave right now is actually pushing towards Cruiser's side.
And that will be just perfect for Dragunner. He would have to have the patience to wait there. That's all he's got to do, because if you charge up your Powerball and get to the max speed before Hotshot gets vision, then he won't be able to get out of the way. He'll have to burn a flash or something. The only other thing is Hotshot's just got another jump here. He's hit level 6. He can turn into that kitty form and leap away.
So we'll see if they can actually manage to make a gank happen. And look at that, Dragunner. He's still waiting. He's been here for like a minute or so. They're really trying to make this kill happen. And in the meantime, Chauster's actually caught up in minions 21-28, as well as he, you know, takes down the mid lane as well. So suddenly, CLG are in decent shape. And Hotshot backs off, basically. He smells something.
He sniffs that one out. Yeah, Chauster getting some time in that mid lane, so he's getting some solo lane experience. Very good to catch him up. And on the other side, we had Rammus waste this entire time in that top bush. He didn't get anything out of that, so his entire beginning lead that he got with the failed smite attempt from Chauster is just thrown out the window.
And what's funny is Hotshot was about 2 feet away from him, at the very front of the other brush. And as soon as Rammus recalled, Hotshot was like, by the way, guys, I'm here. I just want you to know that. I was waiting the whole time. So Hotshot, like, super mind gamed that. That's impressive. The blue buff does go over to Link, so he's going to have that one to farm out. We watch the bottom lane now, and just a giant wave clear coming out from these guys.
Yeah, they actually use the Howling Gale plus the True Shot Barrage to instantly clear that wave and go back to buy. This is going to force Demon Low and Obituarist to actually spend a little bit extra time, and we'll have Double Lift returning quicker with that BF sword.
Okay, so the builds are differentiating right now. Double Lift right now not looking like Blue Ezreal. At the very least, it's going to be starting with something yellow or red. See what other primary colors you can go for in this game. Link is going to farm under turret, but with blue buff, seems to be pretty decent right here. Big Fat, though, still does have an early minion kill lead in this lane.
We saw this in the last set where Big Fat LP he out-farms everyone in the mid lane on that Zed, no matter who they were. He said in the last matchup, you know, maybe Vile Rose just didn't know how to play against Zed, and he should hit him more.
Yeah.
But this time, right, he's going up against Link, who has had plenty of experience fighting Zeds in lane. So, you know, props to GG here.
Very, very, yeah, big fat. And so the blue buff actually is being given over to Dragoner. We've seen that a few times now where you mentioned that blue buff is useful on Zed, but we've seen many times now that Zed is giving that away to his jungler.
Yeah, I mean, it'll increase your damage output, you know, if you get into the team fights or something, because you can spam your abilities quicker and the energy regen. Zed is actually a very energy-hungry champion, and the cooldown on his Shadow Slash is so low that he can just spam it.
Well, right now that we're seeing a very early Dragon attempt by Azure Cats, they've actually pulled everyone down, and look at that, smited away. Azure Cats with an early Dragon take, completely uncontested.
That was that controlling the minion waves that I was talking about. Elise up top. Cruiser was able to shove that whole wave to Hotshot, and since Hotshot has just been last hitting, Cruiser noticed, okay, he's probably going to freeze this one, and he won't get, you know, a huge jump on my top turret. I'll have time, come down, we get the dragon easily, and then I'll get back to top turret before Hotshot can take it down.
Well, you can see the cannon minion taking it up right here as Cruiser makes his slow way across. Early magic pen for this Elise build. Well, Hotshot starts with an early Chalice to add some magic resist on top.
Yeah, so he's kind of trying to counter that, you know, flat pen build right there. And it is cheaper if you're the one on the defensive. If you're buying up magic resist while your opponent is buying magic penetration, it's going to be a bit easier for you to get the numbers advantage.
Okay, so Hotshot has returned back to base. Doran's Blade, couple of wards, going to make sure he doesn't get ganked. And there is a Ruby Crystal on top. So does seem to be going for a bit of durability. We watched Chauster run through the jungle, and he is now level 6 as his Dragoner. So the first ganks, at least from Shen, might start coming out.
Yeah, Azure Cats really have to keep that one in the back of their minds. It's hard to judge when a jungle Shen will hit that 6, and you have to start taking into account Stand United into your trades and your gank attempts.
So if you're Azure Cats, then is that just why we haven't really seen them push in very much, or has CLG just done a very good job of landing and not overextending themselves?
I expected a lot more aggression out of a Rammus jungle. A Rammus jungle that got an early lead like that. I'm a little bit, disappointed here, but it looks like we may have something come to a head in the mid lane here.
Chester looks for a little something, but Dragoner's coming for the side. It might be a 2-on-2. There's the taunt on the Big Fat LP. Dragoner comes by, the follows onto Chaucer, but he's got a big shield, and they go onto Link instead. Big Fat looking for a bunch of damage there. Shen'll comes across, doesn't even take much damage from Zed in the end, and now everyone is going to actually just back themselves right away. Link burned Flash, Big Fat burned Ignite.
So it's just very calm play from both sides there. It looks even like it may be in slow-mo here. A couple of ultimates burned, but they always, each person was a step ahead. And so GG, Big Fat LP uses his death mark, goes in with the ult. Then Chauster answers with Stand United, and they both say, yes, that's the trade we thought was going to happen. We'll back right off with that one. The cooldown on Stand United much longer than the cooldown on Deathmark. So slight win right there for Azure Cats.
Yeah, they will in fact have about a 75-second window just to corroborate your story where you're going to have the death mark available. Azure Cats are making another move though. Look at that. Chauster puts a pink ward on his own blue, but Dragoner, he's going to put a green ward down right there, and Chauster's like, yeah, I'm a step ahead of you. Thanks for the 25 gold.
Plus, he's got those quick ninja reflexes. Takes out that ward. Lickety split. Goes up to top lane here.
Well, he does have Cruiser waiting around right by the wall. He taunts over it, so Chaucer's got to wait until that taunt comes back up. 10 seconds to go on the cooldown. And Cruiser is still in enemy territory. And here comes the movement from Chaucer.
He's still got another 4 seconds on taunt, so he's just going to use that red buff slow.
And he's got to slow down. There comes the rappel up in the air. He goes the other way around. Will he try to flash over? Oh, the flash taunt onto Cruiser under the turret. First blood goes to Hotshot. GG.
Well calculated gank right there from Chauster. Really nice play. He didn't even wait the extra few seconds for their taunt to come back up because he knew he had the red buff slow, and they just corner that spider, trick him into going to their own base. Flash definitely worth that first blood.
So there we go, Hotshot. Because of that kill, and no one in his lane is happily taking away some farm. Chauster spots Rammus coming up from the side.
So again, Rammus now, he's going to soak up some lane experience here, so at least it doesn't go to waste for Azure Cats. And the gold lead from that first blood, not going to be too huge because they were winning the minion war.
And of course the dragon had gone down as well, so the game very, very close. And Chauster, nicely played because he sees the Rammus up top, gets a free red steal.
Very nice counter jungling right there. We said Anytime that you have the enemy jungler visible in a lane, having them have to cover for your solo laner, then you're going to want to take advantage of that. Chowster does exactly that. Very well calculated play so far from Chowster.
Now Doublelift, we see him. We haven't looked at him in a while, but right now his lane is looking rough, to be honest. He's not been camped, but he is just farming out and losing his turret. Look at the health bar dropping lower and lower. Demon Low and Mavituar is putting a bunch of pain there. Aphro finally shows back up. These guys are mirroring their builds right now.
Both of them do have that BF sword early, so probably we'll see some Infinity Edges coming out. We don't have any Vamp Scepters, so the Bloodthirster's not in the works, but now we have Rammus looking to make moves bottom, and again, Chowster one step ahead. He's also in the bottom area already, so if the tower dive comes out from Azure Cats, it could turn poorly.
Well, they've got a Shen with one hit left on the turret, and Azure Cats cannot quite push through. As Chowster says, hey guys, away from my stuff, thank you very much. Another pink ward comes out, and that is another ward kill here for Chowster.
And he still has another pink ward in his inventory. Chowster not being stingy with those pink wards, wants to get that vision advantage. They will give up the turret after this one though, because they want Doublelift to be able to go finish off. He does get the Bloodthirster instead of going Infinity Edge build, so he's going to have the mid-game power spike once he does get that one stacked up, plus the sustain for the extended team fights.
So there we go, Azure Cats with some great early moves, took an uncontested dragon, 2 turrets to 0. They've given up a kill to be fair, but these guys, you know, the crowd says it was 55-45. Experts said it was going to go 3-0 one way or the other. Azure Cats are looking very good right here as the challenger team.
They were looking extremely strong. That dragon that I just forgot about from the beginning really adds to that gold lead. Even taking out the first blood there, definitely overshadowing it. And the extra turret down bottom plus the one in mid means that this entire red side jungle of CLG is going to be under contestation.
Here we go. They are in their own jungle trying to take the red away. There's a ward on top of them, but I don't think anyone's nearby and have to steal that one back. So Doublelift will have that nice red buff to go as a nice red Bloodthirster, but he's added a Sapphire Crystal, so he's a color betrayer.
So he may be looking for an alternative route to go with that Blue Ezreal build and get the damage mid-game that people are always talking about Blue Ezreal lacks.
Yeah.
And then you sort of pick up that blue items, maybe going to the Tier or the Sheen after that.
So let's see, Doublelift is starting up on this dragon. It's down to half health right now. They're looking for a catch. A bit of damage here on a dragon, or the slowdown as well. Exhaust even being used, and they burn away Dragoner's Flash. That is a summoner for a summoner. Now Chowster wants to go back in, but he's taking damage from an enemy ninja. Could be a little scary.
A summoner for a summoner, plus a ridiculous amount of harass onto that main tank. So without that Rammus meat shield, they aren't going to go for this dragon. Both teams back up, and Cruiser with the repel.
Yeah, that javelin could have been extremely dangerous, so Hotshot's going to back off from this one. Trades away, actually, his summoners, though, just for the repel. So that was actually probably a better trade for Cruiser. Ezreal comes by, nearly hits him, and now they're trying again for the dragon. They did see that Rammus came top.
And Hotshot's Nidalee in the top has taken effect now. He's going to take down that top turret as the rest of his team goes for this dragon and backs off. Here comes the Rammus.
And there we go. Goes right on in the knockup there. Is he going to pull up on a Chowster? The shotgun comes by as well. So much damage. Chowster's going to fall over. 1 kill on the map. Big Fat LP jumping in on a Doublelift. Look at the damage output there. The Orianna shield just might be enough. The Janna heal as well. Doublelift has survived. Late flash away. But here comes Speedball Rammus. Oh, he's Q times out. The arrow won't quite land. CLG picked up their own kill onto Big Fat. Amazingly well played.
Yeah, the rest of his team wasn't quite able to keep up with him, but now we have Aphro cornered.
This is not good. He's up against the wall. Oh, just barely lands the taunt. That is not good. Janna's going to fall.
So they do get 2 for 1. GG's life is, or Big Fat LP's life is answered back for 2 kills right there, and the dragon's still up. Means that Hotshot is the only one in the area who could contest it if they wanted to rush that one down.
He is nearby, put some traps down, and it looks like he has stopped the dragon attempt. So even though Azure Cats did go 2-1 in kills on that fight, they couldn't take anything else after it. And actually, Cruiser is now going to answer back this top lane, looking for a turret of his own.
Always got to keep on thinking about the minion waves here, because we pulled Hotshot to the bottom for the dragon. That is going to leave our top exposed, and Cruiser wants to answer turret for dragon.
And right now, CLG has just so much control. They pick up their own dragon. So we're now 2-2 on champion kills, 1-1 on dragons, 1-2, very, very close score on turrets, and Cruiser looks to equalize that one as well.
Yeah, he's going to be a little bit slow here, though. Probably won't be able to get this one in time. He needs another minion wave to get there, and Hotshot already hopping his way back.
Yeah, he's going to make his way over. Now it's the next move up for Azure Cats. They seem to be the one trying to make their presence known. They are up 900 gold. A lot of that because of the turret kill. CLG forced to play defense right here.
Azure Cats looking for some invades on both sides of the map here. We had a 3-man move up to the top lane, but they did abort that mission. They've got an Oracles on Sona, and he's just clearing out wards over here.
Okay, Chowster up on the blue buff though, so Ward actually spots that one out. Dragonair is here. We'll see if the Smite More can be won, and look at that. Grabbed very successfully. Chowster's was still down. Dragonair with a great steal.
That early gameplay actually gave him confidence. Now Big Fat LP in trouble.
Deathmark did go off. Devil has to pull the Shen, but Big Fat, oh, he doesn't make the flash. Trades his life for just a Shen ultimate. Now Demon Low, look at the damage from Link right there. Burns the barrier down, doesn't even use all of it though. Demon Low is running away. Ezreal's coming up from below him. Not gonna quite clip him there. Hotshot GG though in a bad spot, chased down by Powerball. Dragonair says, you know, I can't quite catch him, no thank you.
Yeah, Hotshot right there putting out a lot of damage on that Nidalee, but he wasn't able to take him down. Good taunt here from Dragonair to save his teammate. Big Fat LP getting caught down in the bottom. Very unfortunate failed flash, but they did get the Stand United cooldown.
That is big, and of course Shen being in the jungle has not hit level 11 yet either. So still the gigantic cooldown version of that spell. Have to wait quite some time. Cruiser finally answers up into the top lane, makes it actually 3-1. I said it was 2-1 in CLG's favor a while ago. That was wrong. Azure Cats now 3-1 up in turrets, winning this game by about 1,000 gold.
Yeah, the full cooldown on level 1 Shen ult for Chaucer was sitting at 188 seconds, so it's a very long one. That tool, you have to use that one sparingly because that's the biggest cooldown here that they have available. Azure Cats now, since they do have the full outer ring of turrets down, they should look to group up here because that's really where they have the advantage. They have Rammus who can catch someone out. Sona can even give him a little extra speed boost. Hotshot with the steal. It looks like, you know, Chowster with his smite, no match for Dragonair, but Hotshot with his spears could take him.
That's when you know that Hotshot's kind of back where he's supposed to be because he threaded it like through the Rammus, kind of like curved it around the side. If you ever saw the movie Wanted, I think it was, where they could curve bullets, that's Hotshot and Nidalee right here.
Yes, he is really staking his claim in this upper side jungle of Azure Cats. The return of the king, Hotshot GG, Nidalee.
Indeed. So Big Fat though, I mean, look at this guy. I mean, the jungles have been the other teams for most of this game. Big Fat's coming through, stealing away the red buff, a great ward there. Cruiser being shoved away by Hotshot. These guys, it's funny, we talked about the fact that it didn't start out super aggressive, but now we're seeing people in enemy territory all the time. In the top lane though, Hotshot getting jumped on Cruiser, and Dragon doing what they can. Now can the Nidalee escape? Going through the brush, gets the move speed. There's Repel up across the wall. Hotshot's gonna jump the other way, flashes the wall, and he's gotten out.
Lightning fast Rammus right there. That's the mobility boots that are upgraded with Home Guard coming out in a Powerball. There's nothing you can do to predict that coming. He can come out to any lane if you're that far pushed up. Hotshot does have to spend his flash to get away. Little bit of a mispounce right there.
And not ideal. However, we see Devilith and Aphromoo trying to sort of answer back this bottom lane aggression. We had seen it go down to Demon Lull and Obituarist a while ago, and now it's CLG's turn to put the pressure there.
Yeah, and down there in that bottom lane, we have Double Lift. After he got the early power spike with the Bloodthirster, he switched over to that blue build that we were talking about. So he's trying to shore up the weaknesses that he sees in it.
That's an interesting adaptation there for Double Lift. The turret does go down. CLG finds their second. Stand United and the rest of CLG's ults are available. Dragonair's coming in. He's looking for something. He's in the middle of everybody right there with Powerball on. Takes a bunch of payment. There comes the Varus ult. Hotshot GG is around. The root goes off on Aphromoo. They're going to still fight right here. CLG's is like taking turns getting rooted in place, and finally the chain of corruption stops spreading. CLG's still around, and again, they're looking to steal away a blue buff.
Yeah, and the Rammus, again, since he was poked down so early, no tank here for Azure Cats, and they're just forced to poke as they watch CLG take away the blue and give it to Link.
So we have an exactly tied game right here, 30.2 thousand gold apiece, as Hotshot makes me a liar, clearing out that middle lane wave. But even still, the score is close. CLG looks for this mid lane turret right here. They've got minions. Aphromoo took some damage, but they've got the numbers to take another turret down.
Like the old but new look from CLG that they were talking about, using some picks people would not expect, sending Hotshot back to his original state on Nidalee, and Double Lift with his little tweaks, his slight adjustments to the blue Ezreal build.
And look at his performance in this game. We talked in the pregame about Doublelift possibly choking, and he's at 240 minions. By far first place. He's got 2 champion kills. That's also first place. And he's the only guy above 8,000 gold at 8,800.
Yeah, CLG looking much better right now, but Azure Cats are answering. They come back, take the secondary turrets. The only thing for them is that GG had Big Fat LP had a really good start, but he's sort of fallen off since then because he keeps on getting caught. He had that one fail flash. He's died for it twice now, and since he rushed that Blade of the Ruined King, his little moment where that is really going to have its chase potential and its power spike is kind of passing by. And that's really why a lot of people talk about the Bloodthirster on Zed more preferred sometimes than that Blade of the Ruined King rush.
Okay, so we'll see how he can do in these battles over time. Certainly, yeah, he's bought up Boots 1 now.
All right.
Zed can now walk faster.
Paper bags for GG.
And CLG is actually going to return to mid lane. So we had seen the second middle turret for CLG fall just about a minute ago. Azure Cats pushed down for that one and basically tied the gold back up. However, CLG says, nah, we're not content being down. We want to be in the lead. Please give us your dragons. Thank you very much. We'll see if Azure Cats can answer here.
Yeah, they've hit 3 of their main item thresholds here. We have an Aegis of the Legion on Chouster, so that's more defensive as he gets taunted.
A whole bunch of shields on him, though. He's going to survive for now. Big Fat comes into the front, and he's going to look for Doublelift right here, but he's been exhausted right away. Big Fat will be falls down, but a beautiful crescendo comes across. Hotshot GG gets a Shen ultimate, and now CLG will try to answer back. They picked up 2 kills so far. A third one picked up as well. Double moves forward. He lands the slow there. He's going to keep trying to chase. Oh, but the nice hail of arrows might just stop CLG's advance. Double is not content to stop with this one, though. He's going to land another Q onto Cruiser. They might keep moving forward. Hotshot forced to run away. Nope, just a 3 for 0 with the Dragon. That's pretty easy for CLG.
So hard to get away from that Iceborne Gauntlet Ezreal. Doublelift able to chase them down right there. And you have to give a shout out to Aphromoo in that fight. The Howling Gale to interrupt the all-in from Big Fat LP really bought them that split second that they needed to turn it around. So well played by CLG right there. They're looking just very calm and collected this game.
They are indeed. Their focus has been great. Aphromoo forced to run away from Dragoner, who does actually ward out the Baron pit. So Azure Cats does know that's next on the table. Baron, is it really a major objective for these guys, or is it a sneak, or what?
Baron is extremely early for Baron. It's not really where the huge focus is right now. You want to keep tabs on it, so nobody sneaks it, of course, but nobody's really going to go for a rush on that. It's really the prize at the end of an ace or something like that.
Oh, right now, actually, Hotshot does hit the mark with his Javelin, though. So he puts a little bit of damage there on a Cruiser. Seems like he's going to be okay. Big Fat LP shows up as well. Hotshot, again, landing one. And he's picked up Athene's Unholy Grail, so Hotshot does have some ability power in this build now, as well as max cooldown reduction. This could be an interesting take on top Nidalee.
Yeah, it reminds me of Stanley, where Stanley rushed that Spirit Visage as well, and he just becomes this immovable object. It increases the effectiveness of her heals that she can put on herself, plus that cooldown reduction you're talking about, can just keep spamming out the spells. And he just does not want to leave this top lane, continue to keep up the pressure here, while the rest of CLG are able to poke and pressure a different lane here. They have Janna, they have the perfect disengaged support, so CLG should not be caught at any point.
I gotta say, there's one thing Hotshot's good at. It's staying top lane while his team does other things. Like, that is the one trait you know Hotshot has and does very, very well. And he's doing this right here. And the red buff now also being stolen away. Great pickup for CLG.
And then in Hotshot's pro player pick, he said his favorite thing about Nidalee is waiting, letting his team do a team fight, and then coming in after they're all dead and picking up the kills. He'll let the entirety of the rest of CLG die if he can come in and clean up the ace.
You gotta think he would love to play Katarina and Kha'Zix.
Yes,
like
that's amazing for him.
All right, well, Hotshot, yeah, he is there in the top lane, and CLG, they're looking to make moves. They start on Baron and say, hey, there's actually no wards there, guys. This is actually a possibility here, and there comes Azure Cats to defend it.
And you can see the coverage that they have.
Oh, the taunt on the Cruiser! Speaking of coverage, he's getting just covered by CLG right here. Jaggernaut shows up, does land the taunt on Chester. Look at that shockwave, the ult coming across as well. They find one for nothing so far, and here comes Hotshot. He's going to clean up, but he doesn't even want Sona. He wants to help his team in the front line. Looks for Jaggernaut. They answer onto Zed, 2 for nothing so far. Demonlow's been exhausted, and here comes the Pain Train. They find their 3rd kill. They find the Javelin, 4 kills picked up. Obituary's Hotshot walked past him to kill someone else and lets him go.
Definitive win right there for CLG. Link has been amazing all season long in the LCS with that Orianna. He times the shockwave right for the end of the rappel as Cruiser comes back down right on top of it and to his doom.
And absolutely beautiful. So the prize, as you mentioned, it's going to be shiny and purple. It is Baron, and there it is. Counterlogic Gaming worn on all 5 members, 28 minutes in. That's going to be really huge for them.
It's going all according to that CLG playbook right now. They are just playing this one out very methodically. They have the definitive lead right now, and they can continue to take the rest of Azure Cat's jungle. You can see, I was talking about coverage. They've blanketed that red side jungle for Azure Cats in wards. And they got the oracles, timed it very well with Afro Moo coming up, and were able to just force Azure Cats into a bad spot.
Beautiful orchestration then on the strategies here. Counterlogic Gaming definitely look much better than they did in the playoffs. They said, you know, they were a little heartbroken that the games went the way they did, but they're coming back strong with new strategies, new picks, and new gameplay. And here it is. It's looked very good so far here for Counterlogic Gaming.
It's interesting that they have Orianna just going full damage too, because everyone always gives them flack for not having enough threats. But Link is a huge threat on this team right now. He's gone straight up damage. He rushed that, you know, flat penetration of the Sork Boots, but then straight into Death Cap and Void Staff, the 2 most just pure damage ability items that you can possibly get in the game.
And ironically, it's Double who's picking up utility with an Iceborne Gauntlet.
Exactly.
So, Counterlogic Gaming. Guys, close your eyes. Where's Hotshot? He's top lane.
He's farming minions, my friend. Farming minions.
He is, and actually, you know, you mentioned the possibility of the Shen split push as well, and Chouster has gone down to the bottom. So the rest of CLG, 3 men mid, 1 top, 1 bottom.
This is that double split push I was talking about when they chose these 2 champions. It's the option for them, and because Hotshot got that early lead and he's just steamrolled that one, it's going to be very hard for even a champion like Zed to stop him, who is known for his wave clear.
So this is going to be rough then. I mean, what does Azure Cats do then to turn this one around? Dragons up, is that anything they can go for?
Azure Cats really have to get that hard initiative that we were talking about with a sped up Rammus. They have to have Rammus catch someone and then Sona follow that up with a crescendo. The way that you beat a spread out end game strategy like this that CLG is using is you force that hard engage on the biggest chunk of CLG that you can grab. Whoever they can grab, they need to take it and not let go.
Well, let's see what they can do with this one, because CLG have moved everyone to the right-hand side. Big Fat is forced to fight heads up against Hotshot right here. The Oracles from Afro clears out the wards, blinding the right-hand side of the map, and they're up against the turret right here. It's starting to take damage here from Double Lift.
Now we actually have CLG looking to surround them at their own turret. Link actually gets Chain of Corruptions, cleanse that one off.
Good crescendo, though, does hit on Double Lift. He has to cleanse that one away as well, so 2 cleanses down, but oh my gosh, the damage output. They've picked up 2 right here. Beautiful double kill for Double Lift, and they're going to go and take the turret as another prize.
Not going to be effective to catch CLG if you can't kill any member that you catch. They needed all 5 members from Azure Cats to be able to take someone down. Poked out right there. The blue, you know, delayed blue buff Ezreal build here from Double Lift really shining.
He has completed that Muramana, and they are not done. Look at this CLG still waiting around on his right-hand side of the map. Hotshot, he is top lane. He's happy to kill these things off. He's, of course, 2-0 and 5, and this could be his turret as well as this one for the team.
This is what people were expecting mid-LCS from CLG. They're expecting Hotshot, split pushing top.
Oh my gosh! At the long-range damage output, pegged him with the ult at the very end, landed a Q in the Howling Gale. Now Dragonair wants to make a move potentially, but he's a little afraid. Can he get anything here? Pops his ultimate on. A lot of damage. He taunts up on a Chouster. Has to flash away from the person that he taunted. And there's the shotgun. They find one. Habituous falls back down. Cruiser running away. Iceborne Gauntlet slows the team. And the rest of Azure Cats run back into their own base. Hotshot is still top lane.
He's still top lane, and he's getting the top inhibitor turret right now. That's going to be 2 inhibitors, 2 inhibitor turrets down, and 2 inhibitors now on Rammus as well.
And they catch the Armadillo with the last attack. Here comes Zed. Not great save there by CLG despite the all-in from Zed. There's another inhibitor.
Good game called by Azure Cats, and there's the surrender.
Wow, beautiful play by Counterlogic Gaming. That was, I think, the most Season 1-esque I have seen CLG. Hotshot was in the top half of the map, I think literally the entire time, aside from maybe a dragon attempt, and was always a pest there, never died, 250 minion kills. Great play by them.
Yeah, it is definitely classic Hotshot up there. He went very cooldown heavy, like you said, very defensive minded, and he was just they were not able to kick him out of that top lane.